Hello everyone, my name is Martha Valencia and today I will be discussing non-standards math operations and addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we're going to start with our addition method. I chose to do the place value algorithm. And our problem is 525 plus 682. It's over here. With our place value algorithm, what we do is we look at how many numbers are in each place. So how many numbers are in the hundreds place, tens place, and the units. As you look over here, we have 500 in the hundreds place. So we're going to take 5 right here, and we're going to multiply it by 100. And then we'll look at our tens place. In our tens place, we have a 2. So we're going to multiply that by a 10. And then our units we'll just add at the end, so plus 5. We will look at our next number, which is 682, and use the same method. So we have a 6 in the hundreds place, so 6 times 100. And then we have an 8 in the tens place, so 8 times 10, same concept as the previous number, and then finally we'll add the 2. So down here, what we did is we added the hundreds places together. So 5 plus 6 is 11. We'll bring down our 100 down here, multiply it times 11. And then 8 plus 2 is 10. And we will also bring down our 10 down here. And then 5 plus 2 is 7. So now we simplify everything. 11 times 100 is 1,100. 10 times 10 is 100. And then bring down our 7. Which brings our total to 1,207. Next is subtraction. For subtraction, I chose to do the base blocks method. Now we have a 4-digit integer and a 3-digit integer. So our problem is 1,355, and we're going to subtract 239. So first what we did is we have our cube right here representing the thousands place. Our squares represent the hundreds place, and then our rectangles over here represent the tens place. And finally, our little small squares represent units. So, what I have written up here, or drawn up here, is the base blocks that represent our first integer over here. So, we have 1,000, which is our cube. In our hundreds place, we have a 3 over here, so we have 100, 200, 300. And then in our tens place, we have a 5, so we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And finally, our units, we have 5, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, we're going to subtract 239. So first we will start working from the right to the left. And we can't really take 9 from 5. So what we have to do is we have to regroup. And we have to borrow 10 from our 5 over here, which will make this a 4. And this a 15. So, what we're doing essentially is we are borrowing this 10 right here, and instead of having it over here with the tens, we are actually going to have 10 dots. I'm doing my best to draw these. I'm horrible. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now that we have 10 over here and 5, so we have 15 altogether in our units. Now we can remove this 9 down here, which we will do. So we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, which leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. So we're going to bring that down here. This down here is our answer. So we have 6 units. And then we're going to move on to the next number. So now we will remove 3 from 4. So we have 4 left over here because remember we slid this one over here to the units. So now you're going to take 3 from the tens place. So that means these are gone, which leaves us with 1 in the tens place, which comes down here. Now we will look at our hundreds place, and it says remove 2 from 3. So what that means is we're removing these 2, which leaves us with 1 in the hundreds place. So down here. And then we're not removing anything from the thousands place, so we're just going to drop it down. Now we have a cube, a square, a rectangle, and then 4 small squares. So remember, our cube stands for the thousands place. Ooh, that was rough. And then our square stands for the hundreds place. And then our rectangle is 10, and this right here is 1. So altogether our answer comes out to be 1,116, and these base blocks right here represent this answer over here. So 1,116. Okay, now we will move to our multiplication method. For multiplication, I chose to do the lattice method. Now, our problem is 324 times 76. So for the lattice method, right now we're doing 3 integers on top and then 2 on the bottom. So you have to draw a rectangle like this one right here. And then since I have 3 numbers on this top part, I'm going to have 3 columns for each of the numbers. And then since this one is only 2 digits, I'm going to have 2 rows. Remember, this right here goes on the right part, the right side. Once you have your rectangle, you will draw a line like this one right here, right through the center, and you will align them like I did right here. So once you have that ready, you will then start your multiplication. So first we're going to multiply 4 times 7, which is 28. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the number in your tens place on this top portion of each square, and then the 1 in the ones place on this bottom. So like I did, 28. Then we'll go 6 times 4, which is 24, in the same concept. Tens place up at the top, and then the 4 will go in the bottom. Then we go back up to this 2. 2 times 7 is 14. So put 1 and a 4, 14. 2 times 6 is 12, so put a 1, then a 2. And then 3 times 7, 21, so our 2 goes in there, our 1 goes in here. 3 times 6 is 18, our 1 goes in there, our 8 goes in here. So once you have this written out, then we're going to start addition. So the 4 is over here by itself, so you're just going to bring it down. And then we're going to add these. So you're going to do 8 plus 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you put your 2 down here, and then we're going to regroup the 1 of that 12 up here with the next row. So then we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the same thing. We're going to keep our 6 down here, and then we're going to regroup this 1 with the next row. So then here we have 4. And then our 2 is also by itself, so we're just going to bring it down. So that brings your answer to a total of 24,624. Finally, we will go over division. So for division, I chose to do the repeated subtraction method, although this is probably best with division of smaller integers. So our problem is 300 divided by 15. And basically what you do is what it says up here. You just repeat the same thing over until you get an answer. So first we start by subtracting 15 from 300, which gives us 285. Then you take your answer and subtract 15 again. So you're repeating the same process. Then you take that answer and subtract another 15. And you do the same thing over and over. And if the answer is correct, you should get 0. At some point, you should get to 0. Now, I went ahead and typed all of these up just to save some time, so I wouldn't have to go over each one of them. But as you can see, we finally got to 15 minus 15, which is 0. So once you get to 0, then you take and you count how many times you had to subtract the 15. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So that means 300 divided by 15 is equal to 20. Right here. So 300 divided by 15 is equal to 20. And an easy way to check that is, of course, by using multiplication. So you can always multiply 15 by 20, and it gives you 300. 15 times 2 is 30, and then you add that 0 at the end, so you're at 300. Another easy way to explain it is, let's say you had 300 hearts. 300 hearts. Let's say you take 15 of those 300 and put them in a box. So now you have 285, like we did back here. And then you take another 15 and you put them in another box. So eventually you would have 20 boxes, and each with 15 hearts in them. It's the same concept. Well, this is it. Thank you for listening, sticking through, and I hope that these methods will be helpful in your classroom one day.